guys, it's me and I'm back for another sit down vlog. I'm outside today. I'm kind of like experimenting with areas in my house to see where I like to vlog, but I was already outside on my porch and decided to go ahead and do a vlog. So this is where I'm at. Today I'm going to come to you and basically talk to you about why I decided to have 7 kids. A lot of people judge me and think that, you know, I set out to have this many kids, or I'm a thought, or I'm a hoe, or, you know, I don't know anything about birth control, or I don't know anything about safe sex, or anything like that, or that something's mentally wrong with me, or something like that. And really, in actuality, it's not that way. So I'm going to go ahead and just tell you a little bit about me, personally, as a person, and then maybe you guys will understand a little bit more about me. Let's go take it all the way back to when I first got pregnant with Cadence. I was 17 years old. The ladies who watch me are older and of age, but if you happen to be a teenager or anything like that, please understand that this is in no way saying that you should have a child. I don't want anybody to think that I am a advertisement for having several children, and to think that anybody can do this, because what I chose to do and the life that I chose to have is a hard life to do and have and to be a part of. So just take that into account. So for the rest of the ladies that know me and watch me, when I first started having children, I actually felt like I could be a mom and it was going to be easy and it was going to be okay, and there was bills would pay themselves. I had some type of fallacy in my head to make me think that life was something that it wasn't yet to me. You know what I mean? Does that make sense, y'all? I thought that shit was easy and that shit would take care of itself. I wasn't mature enough to make that type of decision. I didn't have anyone to sit me down and tell me the way the world was for what it is. Like the real shit. My mom always tried to sugarcoat shit and try to make it seem like sex wasn't really an issue, boys and girls weren't really an issue. When I really got out in the dating scene and the sex scene, I was out for myself to try to hold it down, try to figure out what the fuck was right and what the fuck was wrong. You know what I mean? Don't blame anybody who, I don't blame my mom, I don't blame nobody who was in my scene, because a lot of parents are like that, and I can understand, because being a parent myself is kind of hard. When I think of myself having a conversation with my oldest daughter about sex and relationships, I'm scared. You know what I mean? But I'm going to do that shit when the time comes. I'm going to keep it real with you no matter what. No one did that to me, and I paid for it in the end, but I don't blame other people. But if you're a child and you don't know, then what the fuck are you supposed to do? So when I got 17 years old, I thought I was the shit. I knew it all. You know what I mean? I was on my own. Okay, that's another vlog for another day. But I was basically on my own. I had my own apartment. I was living on my own. And when I got pregnant with Cadence, I kind of just got to a point where I was like, why can't I be a mom? I always wanted to be a mom. You know what I mean? Why can't I do what everybody else out here doing that's older than me? Because I know moms that ain't shit, and I can be 10 times better than them. So why don't I go ahead and show these bitches how it's done? That's kind of where I was at. It was fucked up. It wasn't right. Had I known then what I know now, I'd have been like, nah, bitch, chill. You get your own spot. Stack your bread. Travel. Shop. Do for you before you try to do for somebody else. You know what I mean? So anyway, I had Cadence. Life hit me, and it was a reality after that. And then I was like, okay, well, this shit is not blissful as it may have seemed in the beginning, but it's still happiness, you know. I still felt happy. I can honestly say, like, I didn't plan all of my children, but some of them I did plan. When I got pregnant with Cadence, there was no thought of abortion. It was like, no, absolutely not. This is my baby. This is in me. I'm not doing it. When I got pregnant with Kingston, who's my second born, there was no thought of that. Like, this is my child, this is my baby. There's absolutely no way of doing that. Even though life hit me and the world hit me, as in, like, okay, bitch, this is what it really is. Like, it ain't no game, it ain't no joke, and it's not just hugs and kisses and all that. It's jolly, it's real life, no sleep, real life struggle. Even though all of that, I still was like, no. When I had Kaya, still, I was like, fuck no. I only have 2 other kids. Hell no, I'm not even considering that. I want my baby. I'm gonna keep my baby. It wasn't until I got pregnant with the twins to where I was like, ooh, can I do this though? Because I just had a baby 9 months ago and I'm tired and I got 2 other kids. It wasn't until then until I started to question like abortion and keeping my baby. It wasn't then until abortion was like there in the front, you know. And I was like, I already have 3 kids. And at that time I was only 21. 3 kids at 21, and I was like, what the fuck? I just really, I don't want to go through this again. Just got done dealing with a bitch ass baby's daddy. Didn't want to go through that again. So I was like, I can't do this no more. No, I don't want to do this. So I thought about it, I prayed on it and everything like that. And then I was like, well, you know what, let me just at least get this prenatal care started, because it's taking me a long time to figure out what the fuck I want to do. If I do decide I want to keep this child, I have got to at least have had some initial prenatal care. I can't just go on and act like this is not happening. So I get prenatal care. They take my blood and they're like, you said your last period was on this date, but you're not showing that you're that far along yet. So either you're having like a miscarriage or something, or your dates are wrong. I'm like, well, my dates I know for sure aren't wrong. So what you know, what do you want me? What else is it? So they sent me for a scan. I went for a scan, and they were like, well, right now we just see a huge sac. We don't see any heartbeats or any fetuses in that. You might be having a miscarriage. So we'll see. I wait a couple weeks, they take my blood again, and they're like, well, your levels are going up. We'll send you for another scan. Send me for a scan. That's when I found out I was having twins. So my dates probably really were off, and I really didn't know what the fuck was going on with me. You know, I prayed a lot in between the time when I found out I was pregnant and the time that I found out I was having twins, and I prayed to God, and I was like, God, look, listen, you know, I already had 3 kids, and I know I'm not in a position to have a 4th. Which really was a 4th and 5th, but I was like, I know I'm not in a position to do that. But, you know, if this pregnancy is meant to be, it will be. If it's not, then it won't. And I kind of made my peace with that. At that point, it wasn't like, well, what, are you going to go to abortion? Because it was like I was already going through medical issues anyway. It was like, well, this pregnancy might not even last. So I was like, well, if the pregnancy doesn't last, then it was meant to not last. And if it proceeds on as a normal, healthy pregnancy, then it is meant to do that. And I kind of went with that. My faith was kind of out there, and I was like, well, if it's meant, it'll happen. If it's not, then it won't. Whereas the twins are here and they're happy and healthy, and they're 3 years old now, so of course it went through. And it was, to me, it was meant to be. I was different places in my life for all my children. And sometimes that thought did cross my mind, and sometimes it wasn't even a thought at all. At the end of the day, having known what I know now about work, school, free time, life, I would have told me, I wish I had somebody like me back in my life back then, because I would have told me, listen, bitch, life seems like it's easy until you get there. And you can't turn back. And you can't give them babies back. You can't give them decisions back. Life ain't easy the way it appears. You know what I mean? Do you, be you, find you, and then be somebody's mama. You know what I mean? Now, I love my children. I don't regret them or take them back. They made me who I am today. The strong black woman that I am today. I appreciate them for that 1,000,000 times over. I will never take them back. I'm not gonna sit here and lie to y'all and try to pretend like every child I had was a mistake, or that I didn't know, or I was using contraceptive and I didn't mean to get pregnant. Some of these kids I had just because I wasn't being responsible, because I didn't give a fuck, because I let what a nigga told me get into my mind and infiltrate my real thoughts. You know what I mean? I let what a nigga told me about being together in a family, and they'll tell you that shit. Y'all know how it is. They'll tell you that type of shit just to get you right where they want you. it took me a little while to figure that out. It took me a few kids to figure that out. It's a shame, but at the same time, it's what it is. It's life. And I'm not the only person, I guarantee you, that's gone through that. It took me until, honestly, until I had my last baby. I, at that point, was like, I just had a baby a few months ago, 6 months, 5-6 months ago. I'm tired. My body's tired. I'm tired of bitch ass niggas, and I'm not sure I want to go there. It took a lot of praying and a lot of talking with his father, and we were really ready to have an abortion. To the point to where I even had called and scheduled at Planned Parenthood. When I called and made my appointment, they didn't make my appointment for 2 weeks out because I was too early. And during that 2 weeks, I basically talked to him, and I was like, you know, at first I was like, I understand neither me nor you are in the position to really have another child. I have 6 other children, you have 2, and we were really ready to just walk in there and have an abortion. Then all of a sudden, you know, I think the night before, you know, as it got closer and closer, I kept having trouble. I kept breaking down inside, like, this is my child. This is the decision that I made when I, you know, got pregnant. So I don't feel like it's right to do this. Morally, I have an issue with doing it myself, but I do understand why other people do it. I do understand why it's needed and why it's necessary for people to have a choice. So I don't blame people, because I know people who have had 10 abortions, which is a lot, but I know people who have, and I don't dislike them or hate on them. Like, bitch, what's wrong with you though? Because I got all my kids and you ain't got none of yours. You know what I mean? I understand why people do it. Me personally, I couldn't go through with it. I wanted all my babies, and I wanted to have everybody here. And I'm like, well, shit, this decision that I made, then if I am shamed by America, let me be shamed by America and by society. But my children, though, my children are going to grow up and be better than me. They're going to grow up and be something and things like that. I want them to actually have a chance at life. You know what I mean? That was just me personally, my own personal thoughts and my own process. I mean, I broke down, and I told my hubby, and I was like, I'm upset. I'm upset with myself. I'm upset with you. I'm upset with us. I feel like we should have more options, you know, and things like that. But I understand why we are here, and I'm gonna do what is best for me and for you. So at that point, I broke down, but I was kind of like mentally ready to go. I didn't want to, but I was gonna do it. Had I went through with it, I probably would have been a fucked up individual for a while. I probably would have been depressed, because I felt depressed before it even happened, even knowing that I was going to go through with it. My heart was heavy for several days. Just thinking about it, having that type of shit on your mind, you can't even function. Day of the abortion, you know, our abortion set for like, I think 1:30 in the afternoon. All the kids are gone to school and daycare. It's just me and him. We drop everybody off. We go up there. We getting ready to go up there. We're in the car. I'm like, I need to go back to the house to grab something that they needed. I was like, I need to go back to the house for that. Go back to the house. He comes upstairs. He comes and sits down, and he just starts bawling. And I've never seen this man cry. I've never seen this man cry ever. Even to this day, I've never seen this man cry. And he literally starts breaking down in tears, and he's like, I can't do this. I can't break it. I can't support you doing something that I know I don't want to do myself. And I was like, I don't want to do this either. But if we do this, I need you to be here for me. It's basically where we kind of decided this is something that we're going to do, no matter the strife that he would get on his end, no matter the strife that I would get on my end, which is my end's a little heavier, you know what I mean? For me being a woman with all these children, because whether he decides to ever back out or not, I'm here. This is my son. I got to deal with him. People are going to talk about me at this point regardless. People are going to call me a hoe. People are going to say I'm a thought. People are going to say, I don't know this about birth control. I don't know this about niggas. And this is why you're this. And this is why you're da-da-da-da-da-da. And all this other shit. People are going to talk about me no matter what the fuck I do. Because at that point, I already had 6 kids at 25. So I figured, you know, at this point, it's not about what people think. Stop living for other people. Stop living for other motherfuckers. because they're not paying my bills. They're not putting food on the table. They're not waking up in the middle of the night with these kids. They're not taking them to doctor's appointments. They're not taking them to school. They're not taking them to the activities. It's me at the end of the day. Me. And now it's me and my hubby. Every time I was faced with, okay, you're pregnant. It was like, well, bitch, you knew what you was doing. You really knew what you was doing. So don't try to pretend. Don't try to play like you surprised. Even though I was. Always like act like it's not gonna happen until it happens. And then when it happens, you're like, damn. Was I really being out there like that? Was I really doing it like that? Damn, I wasn't really trying to. I didn't really ever think about it. And it's kind of sad in a way, because I should have learned. Like, if I didn't feel like I wanted this many kids, I should have learned. But I wasn't really like, ever like, I don't want to have any more kids, ever, never, I'm done. You know what I mean? I never was like that. I was always open. And that was my problem. I'm a product of just not wanting to get rid of my babies. Now, I know I'm gonna have my haters get on here and they're gonna be like, well, bitch, you decided to have 7 kids and you weren't in a position and you weren't married and blah, 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 blah. So what? I'm a good mother and I take care of my children. I'd rather be the mother, and I'd rather I will take the scrutiny and I will take it with a grain of salt. I'd rather be that person to be able to do that and still be able to say, but my kids are taken care of. I started young. I shouldn't have. I didn't have guidance like I should have. Is that an excuse? Not really. But am I going to say all my kids are a mistake? They're already here. They're already thriving. I'm not going to sit up here and pretend like shit is easy. My life is not easy. I get no sleep. I get no personal time. I missed out on a lot of my childhood. Mommy, that's okay. I missed out on a lot of my childhood. I missed out on a lot of my young adulthood. I didn't get to travel. I didn't really get to go to college. I didn't really get to do a lot of the things that I should have been able to do. So, I have my regrets. At the end of the day, do I regret my kids? Hell no. Best thing that ever happened to me. Even though there's a lot of them motherfuckers. Even though some of these days I'm ready to find a return label on one of their asses and go drop them off back where the fuck they came from. The stork land somewhere, okay? Yes, I said it. I'm ready to drop them back off. Like, return to sender, okay? Return to sender. I'm blessed. I love all my children. I don't regret them. I don't regret them being here. I don't regret the decisions I've made for them to be here. And I don't regret the fact that people talk about me like a dog. Talk about me, bitch. But what you can never do is talk about my kids. What you can never do is talk about my kids, though. I'm grown. I made my decisions. I made my bed. I'm going to lay in it proudly. But what you can't ever do is talk about my kids. What you can't ever do is say they're not taken care of. What you can't ever do is say they're raised by somebody else besides me. What you can't ever do is say that they come out the house looking crazy and ratchet and snot-nosed and boogery. You know them snot-nosed ass, boogery ass kids that look trifling with their hair all over their head. And you see the mama and they looking fly as hell, but you looking at their daughter like, what the fuck? But you looking fly though? Why didn't you spend some more time on your baby? For you brought her out here looking like that. Bitch, your child is a reflection of you. What the hell? I have 7 kids. Not one of them leave this house looking crazy. Ever. On any day. Even on bad days. When I'm tired and ain't had no sleep. Okay? That's just what I wanted to come and talk to you guys about. It's been heavy on my heart lately. Actually for a long time. But I just wanted to come to you guys and talk to you guys about it. And let you know about my life a little bit more. And how I am here. And how I view things. And why I'm okay with it. And how I view haters a little bit and things like that. So that's me, guys. I mean, I hope you enjoyed this vlog. I mean, who knows? Alright guys, I love you. I love you, love you, love you, love you. Keep pressing that subscribe button. Don't forget to follow me on Instagram. Don't forget to follow me on Snapchat. And don't forget to hit that subscribe button. Okay? Because you want to hear all the realness.